A staple of the Walt Disney Company is being sold out and operated by another corporation. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and I am here today with Mr. Culture Casino, a man with more knowledge than any of us could comprehend. Culture, how you doing?
Well, I'm not sure that's true, but I'm doing great, and thank you for the compliment.
I did compliment it. That being said, let's read this story out of the Digital Bits. Bill Hunt at the Digital Bits does fantastic work on a regular basis and has gotten into scoops in his neck of the woods, which is physical media. Right here, My Two Cents, which is his column over there on the Digital Bits concerning matters cinematic, discological, and what have you. I love that. Breaking news update. We have new information from our sources on the Disney-Sony physical media deal. What the headline that is missing here, and not because Bill is missing it, because he's referencing it from another article as well, is that the Disney Movie Club is going away. And instead, Disney has chosen to farm out all of their physical media releases to Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. I think that might be a good thing, but let's talk about that here. Regarding these Disney Sony physical media news that we broke this morning on the Digital Bits, we've learned the following additional information from our industry sources. We're coming in with the update just for the sake of time. Once again, we've confirmed that Disney is indeed in the process of transitioning to a licensed physical media distribution model via an agreement with Sony Entertainment. Culture, what does that mean in English?
They're going to let Sony take care of all their physical media for them and just collect a fee from them for allowing, well, Sony to produce their movies and sell them in physical form.
And what does Sony own that no one else in the home media entertainment business owns?
Well, they have a very unique way of collecting data from Blu-rays and DVDs to, gather customer information.
They do. That wasn't what I was talking about, but
Oh,
that's amazing. And there was a screenshot that I saw the other day. Apparently, Blu-ray Live, or is it BD Live,
BD
is
Live.
is still an active technology, even though we thought it kind of went away. They stopped advertising it on discs, but when you put in certain Sony Pictures Entertainment home media, whatever discs, they will come up with an end user license agreement. That is something that doesn't happen when I put in the Lord of the Rings extended editions. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Um,
Of course, Sony also owns a wonderful console that you probably were referring to called PlayStation.
yes, they
Yeah.
do. Well, actually, what I was going to say is they own the Blu-ray format.
Well, isn't that what the whole point of the PlayStation was in the first place?
Well, I mean, if we want to get into the history of the PlayStation and its origins as the Philips CDI or Philips Sony Nintendo conglomeration, we can get into that, but maybe we should save that for
We'll do
another
that.
day.
Yeah.
But Sony owns Blu-ray, and by the way, the technology of Blu-ray, and so every one of those Blu-ray discs is a cut for Sony, and they're also the most efficient at producing them. So, reading on, as part of this deal, Sony will market, sell, and distribute new Disney releases plus catalog titles on physical media that would be 4K, Blu-ray, DVD, etc., to consumers through retailers and distributors in the US and Canada. So basically North America, probably Mexico too, but that's not included here. This shift is consistent with other strategies that Disney is working to implement company-wide, as exemplified by the company's recent transitions in other markets. That's a weighty statement right there. I think they're probably going to be farming a lot of things out, and
I think they told us that.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think this is something Bob has been talking about, and they're going to leverage other people and their abilities to their benefit, which would include, again, it's going to include data collection. I can't wait to get to that part of this conversation.
Well, no, that's fine and that's great. The thing that I think they're doing here is phase one, whether or not Bob Iger considered it phase one, was Disney buying all of these intellectual property assets. And phase two appears to be they now control them and they're going to license them out to other people in order to take on the burden of production and to shift as much cost away from Disney. And Disney then becomes a rights conglomerate that has theme parks.
Yeah, that is
Yep.
exactly correct. That's
Yep.
exactly the direction they went.
Yep. Per usual, Disney regularly evaluates their approach to the physical media market as the home entertainment business and industry at large continue to rapidly evolve alongside consumer behavior. Of course, that could mean that they went all in on Disney Plus and destroyed a massive revenue arm of the company. And maybe sometime by the end of next year, they might make a single dollar of profit within one quarter, not on the entire thing. They've still got a long ways to go before Disney Plus is actually a profitable endeavor. They have yet to have one quarter where they made money. So,
And I would still suggest that the only way that they'll be able to do that is to obfuscate it by combining Disney Plus with Hulu, but that's just my opinion.
yeah, I think that you're probably correct by hiding the fact that they have not made any money under a successful streaming service.
Yes.
Uh, Now, continuing here, this agreement will allow Disney to continue offering its films via physical media retailers and distributors, and most importantly, to disc consumers more efficiently. Disney is handing over physical media operations to Sony, which has recently commenced and will probably take several months to complete. The first title will be The First Omen, which releases uh, April 5th. It looks like. Oh,
Ooh.
that's not bad. All of this is happening while they are shutting down Disney Movie Club. And I've learned from conversations with some people who are part of the Disney Movie Club, specifically Tom Connors over there from Midnight's Edge, that uh, he's able to see everything, but people can no longer join the Disney Movie Club, which I know a lot of people were checking that out, myself included, because they're liquidating that stock over there at the Disney Movie Club. I believe Blu-rays and more for like $10 a piece. So I imagine a hearty secondhand market on all of those rare Disney titles that are pretty much exclusives to the Disney Movie Club. And of course, all those wonderful people out in, I want to say, Neenah, Wisconsin, who ran the Disney
Mhm.
Movie Club. My condolences to them. I hope you found out from Disney and not from social media, as some people have done over the last few years when being let go from the Disney company. So,
Yeah.
culture, please enlighten us though about this data collection aspect.
Okay, so Sony BD Live is a service that was put in place so they would know what you were doing what you were watching, what your habits were. It was a way to kind of track their customers so that they could track their businesses around it. But with data sharing agreements, what they are now, and because Sony controlled the Blu-ray market, or still does, they were able to acquire data from other people through their players as well. Now they will have a data sharing agreement with Disney using BD Live, which, believe it or not, is on your PlayStation 5 as we speak.
Oh no, of course. I had no question about whether or not Sony was collecting data on what discs went in and out of that PS5. I think that would inherently be in the Blu-ray player on that. The thing that I was actually very surprised was that a standard Blu-ray player or a 4K player at this point is not like a VCR where it's dumb and it just does one thing. The fact that it even has to get a software update is appalling to me. But that software update obviously has to come through the internet.
Yeah.
And I actually did like Blu-ray Live back in the day, except that I could never buy things quick enough to actually partake in some of those like gimmicky things, like the Damon Lindelof and Carlton Cuse. If you bought the Lost Blu-rays before the next season, that you could engage in some kind of live streaming event where they actually talked about it. But as always, it seems that there is another price to pay on the back end, and that price is a little bit more of your data. I wonder if they can also see everything else that is on your network, like when you tell it that you need it to be able to detect the sound bar that you have there. If Roku and Sony are then talking to each other, and now talking to Disney, and creating a more perfect picture of everything that you want and watch in your life.
Would you be surprised if they did?
No, not at this point. You make a very good point. The thing that I was hopeful for when this first happened was Sony does a better job with Blu-rays than anyone else. So I was
Yes.
hopeful that there would be maybe even better special features because, as is often pointed out, the Pirates of the Caribbean 4K is a travesty. It is one of the worst transfers ever done in the format.
Yeah.
And that is Disney, and I think it actually sold decently well. So Disney had no incentive to improve. But it sounds like instead of that hope that Sony will be taking over this process from start to finish, It'll just be that they hand over the files and say, here, go make it. And as in literally just go press this and send it out to the market. But we shall see. Of course, we do not know. What we want to do is, as always, farm this out to the comments and ask, what do you know about this situation? What do you think of this situation? And consider sharing this out on social media if you know someone who is interested in the Disney Movie Club or what might be happening with Disney home media. Of course, consider subscribing to That Park Plays for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.